What is going on YouTube? Welcome back guys to a brand new video. It's Pokestocks here. In this episode, we're going to be doing a deep dive into all good pickups slash buys that you could be doing under $100 in the mid-month of October. Surprisingly, I do have some good finds, so sit back, relax, and enjoy guys. This is going to be a longer episode, so I hope all of you are ready. Of course, if you have not already, join the Discord down below. We are on the road to 1,200 members, guys. People buying Destined Rivals booster boxes. Everything is going in this Discord, so feel free to join down below. And remember, none of this is financial advice. This is all my opinion. Let's start off with number one, Destined Rivals. Now, Destined Rivals has been a hot topic. It's been the quote unquote, we've heard this said everywhere on the platform, the best set from Scarlet and Violet, more specifically the best main series set. So a set that has a booster box, it is the best one, and I totally agree. I think Destined Rivals is going to be a great takeaway in the next few years after Scarlet and Violet rotates. Now, let me make it pretty clear. Finding Destined Rivals good pickups under $100 in the sealed slash singles market is very, very difficult to do. If you're going to be investing into Destined Rivals, note that you're going to be pouring heavily, is that the right word? Yeah, heavily amounts of money into it. So keep that in mind. I do want to start off with Destined Rivals booster bundles. Now, you could pick up two of these for $100 if you do know how to negotiate, and you can get them, at a store, not at a store, but at a vendor, just $100 cash, easy, two of them. I am a very, very big believer in booster bundles as a product. I do think they do very, very well long term, because I like to call them the mini booster box. That's exactly what they are. 6 packs. MSRP is like $27 right now. They are reselling for $53. So keep that in mind if you're going to be picking up Destined Rivals. Right now, I think booster bundles are great plays. Just keep in mind, I'm going to keep saying this a lot throughout my videos moving on forward now. We're most likely going to see these get reprinted as well. We saw Destined Rivals booster boxes get heavily reprinted, and I think booster bundles are going to be the next up thing, most likely with a Costco slash Sam's Club drop. I am predicting that. Surging Sparks, Prismatic, they've had it. I think Destined Rivals is going to be the next one up. Not saying soon, but just keep in consideration this might come down in price, or I could be totally wrong. I don't know. Next up, not something I want to add in this video, but I do want to bring up Destined Rivals booster boxes, because for those of you guys who do not know, we saw the massive reprint. They fell all the way down to an official low of October at $360. And just like that, guys, just like a snap of a finger, we're up to $380. So prices are picking up very, very fast for Destined Rivals. The reprint did a heavenly amount of damage. Like, we saw boxes drop almost $140. That's significant. So it is really, really cool to see, the massive price fall, but it's crazy to see how fast everything is picking back up. Next, we have Mega Evolution. And I do want to briefly talk about this set. I do not think picking up Mega Evolution is a good buy right now. Anything under $100, guys, I would still hold off, as this set is still brand freaking new. We have so much more product to come along the way. So I'm going to keep that in mind. I'm not too big of a believer of Mega, unless you get an MSRP. If you get anything in MSRP, guys, then GG's. But other than that, still hold off on Mega Evolution. 151. I know I'm going to get asked this. Are there any good buys for under $100 for 151 right now? There isn't. If you were to ask me, I would just say pick up booster bundles, because these are, theoretically speaking, $100 on the dot, and they do qualify for this video. Now, I'm not going to lie when I say this to you guys. I've heard a lot of speculation right now going on the market about 151 getting a massive reprint. Now, I know that can be very, very inaccurate, because we do have, it's been so freaking long since we had a reprint slash restock, but I've heard a lot of valid points about Black Friday, about Christmas, and about the holiday season, and just having a massive 151 reprint. Do want to make it pretty clear. It is hypothetically possible that could happen. 151 is still in rotation. Pokemon could reprint ETB's booster bundles, but as what we've seen, it most likely will not happen. Just keep that in mind, and let me know what you guys think. It's sort of just a controversial topic right now. Do you guys think 151 is going to get a massive reprint? Of course, it is just speculation. It is not 100%. It's just something to keep in mind that I found kind of interesting. Next, we hop into some singles. I do briefly want to talk about the Ends Restaurant from Journey Together. It has come down significantly, 13%. It pumped to $50, and just almost 2 weeks later, we're down to 21. I am a big believer into these box topper promos. For those of you guys who do not know, Pokemon has done enhanced booster boxes. You guys know this, right? So we get promos in these. We have to realize that Pokemon ETB promos are doing ridiculous, right? ETB promo cards are only for like $10, $15, $20. Booster box promos, I think, are still very undervalued in the community because this is so unique and so rare, theoretically speaking. Journey Together is the only set in Scarlet and Violet that has a booster box promo. Mega Evolution is the only set so far with a booster box promo, and Destined Rivals did not get a booster box promo, which I find kind of interesting. What do you guys think? If Destined Rivals did a booster box promo, how much more value do you think booster box promos will have? I just think people forget about these. So I think long term, picking some of these up under 100 are great pickups right now. You could get 5 of them for 100, and regardless of booster boxes getting reprints, this and that, I do think that booster box promos are going to have a very solid baseline of around $10, $15 to $20. I do not think they're going to go below that price point because booster boxes alone just have such a hefty MSRP amount. So I think $20 is a very fair, well play to pick up some of these. Sorry for my dog barking. If you guys do hear that, I apologize. Next up, I do briefly want to talk about the EVEX from the SPC. Same story here, however, a different product, the Super Premium Collection. I am a very big believer in UPCs/SPCs, and I do think that long term they do very well. We could look at 151, the Charizard, Celebrations, etc. And I think Prismatic Evolutions will have that exact same scenario. So if you want to pick up, some of these promos before these SPCs, really start to pick up in value, then I think picking them up now is not a great buy. Also, do keep in mind that SPCs/UPCs have a totally different print run. I know that some people have found some of these prismatic SPCs back in the wild, but I do think that in the near future, a lot of them are going to start getting dry, and we're most likely going to see a lot of these promos pick up. Also, this is going to be a $40 card, so you could theoretically get 2 of them for 100. If you are lucky, try to get 3. That would be insane. And I do think the value for this card particular, because it is a EV, is going to do very well. Next up, top more into some sealed product, Surging Sparks ETBs. Hear me out on this. Surging Sparks has just had a rough run, guys. The massive crash of ETBs. It's having such a hard time picking up value. We're currently down again this month 4%. ETBs at around $70. Do I think you should be picking up Surging Sparks? I picked up 2 of them recently. I think it's just good to have Surging in the collection. I feel like Surging Sparks is going to be that one set that's going to have a very hard time growing right now. But in the near future, I think it's going to have a very solid momentum and fan base. It is a very clean ETB with a Pikachu on it. So I do think that is going to help it gain some value. Moving into what you guys love most, Prismatic Evolutions. Booster bundles, same premise here with Destined Rivals. Prismatic is going to be a top tier, really well known set for long term. Booster bundles right now, as we are currently speaking, are $60. So a little bit expensive, but if we do take a broad look at the past 6 months, or more, like 3 months, it looks a little bit better for you guys to see. We're currently down 10%, and you guys could see all of the massive amounts of buy volume occurring right now with these booster bundles at $58 to $60. And I do think that Prismatic Evolution booster bundles are going to continue to tank a little bit, but in the next few days, few weeks, maybe, hopefully not that much longer, these things are going to start to take off again and start to pump some really good value. I do think, though, personally, just of what I've seen in the past, with 1501 being a great example, 1501 has just been a really good example that booster bundles always get reprinted. I mean, if we were to go back, guys, a few months ago, right, 151 booster bundles were selling for $60, the same exact price point as Prismatic. So take that for what you want, but I do think, possibly next year, Prismatic Evolution booster bundles are still going to be getting reprinted, so we probably will see them at this exact same price point, maybe even a little bit cheaper if the hype leaves the market. You guys do have to remember, and I'm going to try to be as honest as I can as an investor, The only reason why we are paying these ridiculous prices, the only reason why there's so much growth in the market right now, is not because Pokemon is just an insane investment, but it's purely based on hype. If hype leaves the market, then prices fall. We've seen that with the 2020 hype, and I do think that the 2025 hype will eventually fall into that. I know a lot of people are calling it the crash right now. I do not think it's a quote-unquote crash. I think it's a bit of a cool-off, but just keep that into mind. I do want to keep reminding you guys the truth about Pokemon investing. It's not really an investment. It's something you throw in your closet and you just know it's going to gain value, but nothing that's going to change lives. I mean, I don't know. It might change your life if you go heavily into this. We also do have a cool one. This is something I think a lot of people forget, which is going to be the Prismatic surprise boxes. I actually find these super unique in terms of what they contain. For $40, you are going to be getting yourself 4 packs of Prismatic, so that's kind of cool. But you're also going to be getting yourself that one promo card. And I think promos, especially in 2025, have outperformed nearly every other product / card because they're just so unique to that box, to that collection box, UPC ETB. And I do think a lot of people sleep on these surprise boxes, guys. I totally forgot this existed. I literally asked my Discord, hey, I need some good products to talk about for this video. And someone said a surprise box. And I was like, damn, I forgot about it. I have one of these in my collection. I do think they're very nice to have. Hopefully has the Umbreon inside of it. But again, just really unique. I think under 100, especially for Prismatic Evolutions, as a lot of us are trying to pick up this set because we do know that in the near future, Prismatic is going to be a great takeaway from Scarlet and Violet. A surprise box is a very niche product to pick up. Lastly, we are hopping into Sword and Shield. Of course, guys, I have to bring back a little bit of nostalgia. We have the Sword and Shield Silver Tempest ETB, which is currently under $100 at a market price of $95. If I do know this, and I don't know if this is 1000% accurate, but I believe Silver Tempest, maybe Astral Radiance, maybe Battle Styles. There's not that many ETBs left from the Sword and Shield era that are currently under $100 right now, guys. A lot of them are obviously above that price point. There's only a few left in the existence to be under 100. So here's one thing, I'm just going to say this based on experience. If you want to invest safely into the market, because I know picking up a lot of Scarlet and Violet could be a little bit intimidating because thinking about the reprints / restocks it could have could fluctuate the price. I think picking up Sword and Shield is a very safe play because we know for a solid fact that Sword and Shield is really locked away and gone in the market. We're never going to see the stuff get restocked / reprinted again, and we know that for a solid fact. 2025, especially speaking, the last few months of 2025 is probably the last time we are ever going to see Sword and Shield at retailers for MSRP. For example, I do know a lot of people are finding some Silver Tempest booster packs in some collection boxes. I know people are finding some Crown Zenith at Walmart, but I believe in 2026 there's just going to be no more Sword and Shield. So picking it up now could be a very great play. I always say this, especially if you're a well-known viewer on this channel, then you know I like to say that 80% of my collection is Sword and Shield. And it's just that solid fact that I could invest heavily into Evolving Skies, heavily into these older Sword and Shield sets, because I know in the back of my mind they're not going to be dropping in value like that, right? They're always going to have that true value with them because they're not going to get reprinted and restocked and hype leaves the market and everything crashes. You know what I'm saying? So that is with that. Let me know what you guys think. Hopefully this video did help, and if you do agree / disagree, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.